Welcome back to the 19th ever iced coffee. What's it called?
Hour.
So we should redo that.
You're good. Let's
Keep it
roll
in there. Let's keep it in there. No edits. Keep going.
Oh, okay. We have made to date $4,790, and in this video that we will get demonetized in, we'll probably lose some money.
I hope not. Now,
right.
for those
Never
that are
get
not
invited
aware,
back.
first of all, the lengths that we had to go through to get you on the podcast, this is a big deal. We all got illness tests right before coming on the podcast, so none of us were positive. We're all negative, but that was a pretty penny to get tested.
Yeah.
Like that.
It's but we made it, and it feels weird because I almost feel like back to normal now.
Yeah.
Because this has been the first social gathering that I've had without masks, and I think even if I counted masks, I've had like 2 social gatherings since the pandemic began.
Wow.
And that's 6 months now, 6.5 months of quarantine.
Now, this is exciting for us to have you on
Big
because
deal.
it's a huge deal because not only did our video that we do together where you lost $2 million in Tesla, dude, it's at like 300,000 views now, but
Wow.
your channel has exploded this year. This is the year of Meet Kevin.
No.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, seriously. I think in a few months, you're going to have more views total than I will on YouTube.
No way.
Yeah, you're almost at
Really?
150 million views so far.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm at 196.
Now I have
but
a goal.
You're catching up by 6 million views a month.
Wow.
You're gaining on me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, well I'm
So-
gonna go to 5 videos a day now.
Good. So really quick, I think it's important to know who you are. So if you wouldn't mind just giving us like a 30-second background for anyone who's tuning in who doesn't know your channel.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So went to UCLA, real estate broker. I'm 28, married, got 2 kids, and yeah, now I started making YouTube videos after I saw Graham talking about real estate.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if Graham can do it, I can do it.
Oh, geez, thanks. If this idiot could do it, anyone could do it.
But and then I think I reached out to you for what was it? A Sprinkles cupcake?
Yes.
Yeah, and that's how we met.
Yeah. I remember your email. You sent me an email. I think I was back at like 60,000 subscribers or 50,000 subscribers on the channel. You reached out, and your email was basically, we're like the same person. Really, that's how it sounded.
How so? What in the email?
The similarities between them.
Do you have it?
I'm sure I can find it. Hold on one sec.
It
Yeah.
wouldn't surprise me because we both started buying real estate so early, and that's something I always try to drive home is buy real estate. Buy real estate. And that's, if there's anything I did well over the last 10 years, it's just buying real estate.
I can never spell your last name, even to this day.
Kevin.
Yeah?
First name Meat.
Okay, got it.
I can type. You want me to type it for you?
No, it's
P-A-F-F
P-A-F-F.
or A-T-H? Well, you messed it up already. R-A-T-H.
R-A-
Not Patty. R-A-T-H.
There we go. I can't type
It's
today.
impossible.
Yeah, I know.
Whoa! No, no, no,
this.
no, 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 no.
Is that it?
It's a love letter. Look at it.
No!
Oh,
Wow.
October 13th,
This is an exposed video, man.
2017.
We're coming up on the anniversary.
We're almost 3 years now.
Whoa!
Almost 3 years ago, this happened. Kevin, I'm gonna read this.
No! I'm drinking. I mean, this is just water, of course.
All right. Hi, Graham. A lot of your audience on YouTube seems to be younger and either aspiring or newer. Having watched you since your 7,000 sub days, which wasn't even that long ago, congrats. I know we share a lot of the same philosophies and wanted to offer potential talks and film sites, renovations in progress on either flips or rental deals. I personally don't flip. Now, keep in mind, I have not seen this email since back then. I have not looked at it. So this is the first time I'm seeing this in almost 3 years. I'm 25. With my wife, we own just over $4 million in properties, almost exclusively single-family rentals. I usually sell about $20 million per year, about 40 deals. No door knocking or fairy customer service. I'm my own broker. We just started a renovation business exclusively for our clients, meetandone.com. We have neat ideas that I think could benefit your channel and offer growth in both YouTube and real estate. Best wishes for your continued growth, Kevin. P.S. I started at 18 after quitting at Red Robin and almost quit college UCLA. I've walked in the footsteps of your viewers. And I responded back, yes, let me know when you can talk. And I gave my phone number.
That's it. And then what? Since then, we've been to North Carolina.
Yeah.
Where have we been? We've been to a lot of places.
Washington,
Canada.
D.C.
D.C. was fun.
Canada. And we've just been going to Vegas.
Vegas. Oh, yeah.
Giving talks on real estate and YouTube.
Vegas a few times.
Yes.
And it seemed
Yeah.
like at least 2 of your big viral hits, I was with you.
Oh, as they took off.
Yeah, it was the
Yeah.
credit card one.
Credit card one,
The
and I think
JPM
the
Reserve.
Tesla one,
and
too.
maybe the Tesla one.
I forget.
Well, yeah. But
Yeah, one of
that's
those, yeah.
amazing. So hopefully
Yeah,
we have
3
another
years.
banger coming tomorrow. Let's get Kevin O'Leary to #1 on trending.
Jeez, yeah.
That video was really good, by
Thank
the way.
you.
If
Thank
you haven't watched Graham's Kevin O'Leary video, watch it.
Right.
He basically, through Graham, makes fun of me. Margin on stocks.
Yeah, where do we even
We
start?
got to talk about the margin
Let's
on
just
stocks.
go right into margin on stocks.
Okay.
So tell us from the
Right
beginning.
into the
because-
depths of the
because
holes.
You made millions of dollars in Tesla stock.
yeah.
How did this start?
Yeah, I think it all started with just having bought the Model X. And I think one of the weirdest things was, I don't even know if I should say this, but it was when we were driving to Vegas, or we were driving somewhere, and it's just like a 7-hour drive, and the car's on autopilot, and it's like, I'm editing like credit cards exposed on my laptop in the car. I
remember that.
Like 3 years ago, or 2 years ago, probably at this point. Ever since I started realizing this autopilot was really so powerful, I couldn't get away from Tesla.
Yeah.
And I'm so cautious of getting brainwashed into the hype of it, because if you look online, everything's just like hype fests on Tesla, especially the online. But I don't know. What do you think? Am I just overhyping Tesla? But to me, it's like if I could only pick one stock, that's the only stock I would buy.
So, but back then, how much did you invest in Tesla stock?
Oh, okay. So when I first bought the car, it sucked, so nothing. And then it got better.
Why would you say it sucked?
Oh, it was horrible, the crap I went through with the car. I have an old video somewhere, but I had almost every time I went to get in the car, I would have errors. So you'd get in, it was autopilot not available, car can't start, car needs service. There was a time where I was late for an appointment, I got in, and it was doing some weird bugs. I called Tesla and they said, here's what you got to do. Take your key, walk 5 minutes away from the car. So you're distant from the car, so the car can just hard reset alone.
Wow.
And then I came back and the problem was, and I'm like, what? This is the stupidest car. I thought I bought a lemon.
Wow. Yeah.
And then I saw the car go from lemon to not lemon. And I'm like, they did that all over the air? That's new, you know?
Wow.
So I think that's really what got me so inspired. And then, how heavy did I go on Tesla? I think I probably was 400K in on Tesla before the pandemic.
Before the pandemic.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So what was your average buy-in? Because you were buying in a lot. I remember when I sold at 914, you were buying more.
I still buying. Yeah, well, let's look at it right now. I hope I didn't mess up the mic there. But before the pandemic, and I just sold a little bit right before Battery Day,
Right.
because we'll talk about that in a second here. But let's pop it up. So here's Tesla. This is just the M1 Finance. So it's 190.
Jeez, man. Look at that.
90. And it's what, 3.4 or whatever in
Yeah,
now.
you have more in Tesla than I have in the entire market right now.
And it's very poorly diversified. I think the only way I could, which I heard in the Kevin O'Leary video,
Right.
5% per stock, and I'm like, nah, that ain't me. No.
You went against everything that he said with the margin.
But you made money. Do you think that was luck? Or do you think that there's strategy behind this?
Yeah, I mean, it's always hard to say looking back. I think I think probably what really messed me up was back when I was initially buying real estate. All I would do when I was saving money in between deals was buy Apple, and it always did well for me over the last decade. And for me, I almost see Tesla as like the next decade's the Tesla decade. And I think they're just at the beginning of their growth curve. You know, now we look at the stock, it's like, oh, it's exponential. I think it's the start of an exponential curve for them. We'll see. I mean, who knows? And I don't want to just come here and Tesla hype everything.
Does that
but,
scare
you know.
you, though, to have so much money in Tesla? What's your margin right now?
Yeah. So if what I did is so I've got my Robinhood margin paid off. I've got my Webull margin paid off, because there was a point in July where I was like really heavy in margin.
Was that like $3 million in margin, right?
More.
More.
Probably at one point I was somewhere around like 3.5 to 4 million in
Wow.
margin. Yeah. And so one of the reasons for that, though, is on some deals I had to panic close quickly on some that, like, for example, I had a real estate deal where the seller was in hospice, going to die any day. And the lender's like, we just need a 1 week extension. We need a 1 week extension. The seller's like, he's not going to make it. And then we're going to go into probate and then I'm not going to get the deal. And so there were probably about 3 deals this summer where I took around $1.5 million out just to buy real estate cash. So my view has always been, okay, well, if I'm borrowing on margin to buy real estate cash, I always have that as a piggy bank. So if necessary, I can get a loan on that real estate and sort of break that piggy bank and then pay down margin.
That's true.
Yeah. But it's slow, right? Refinance these days, 45 days.
Well, worst case, you could always get a hard money loan at like 10 or 11% for a year.
That's true.
Anyone would lend you at that.
Bridge it.
Right.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that real estate really gave me the confidence to maybe be hyper-focused on individual stocks, which is probably a mistake. But I think real estate is my biggest diversity. I mean, now this month, the first couple weeks of October, once this next one closes, I'll be at like 16 in real estate in the total, right? I have mortgages on these.
Million for anyone.
Yeah, and I was on my run with Lauren today, so 16 million in. The debt's probably somewhere around 9. But I was on my run with Lauren today. I go, even if we just averaged 1%, just appreciation alone, 1% appreciation on that's 160 grand. Just 1%. It's unbelievable.
My thought is this enough? Because you have enough right now where you could pay off all the margin. You could even pay off probably a lot of the real estate.
Sure.
And just call it quits. You won that. You already beat the game.
Yeah.
Now you're just making us look bad.
Stop. No. No, I don't know what it is. I think probably the biggest problem I have is working too much. It's just always, not having enough time for the family or the kids or putting work first. And so now I'm trying to do this new schedule where I'm working from 5 to 2 is the goal. So I wake up at like 4:57. And I try to be done at 2. And my view is if I can get, 3 or 4 videos out, great. And then spend time with the family to have that balance. But I used to, in that original email that you pulled up there, I had a disclaimer at the bottom. Kevin takes Saturdays off to spend time with family. I did that for 2 years. Saturdays were the worst day of the entire week for 2 years. Because
you couldn't work.
I got nothing done. I was so anxious about all the things I wasn't doing that I actually felt stressed and like terrible about myself for taking a day off to spend time with family. Now, if I work from 5 to 2 really hard, it's like, okay, had some good videos or made some good progress in real estate. Then I get off at 2 and I feel really fulfilled. Like now I'm going to go on a run with the family. Now I'm going to, watch Twilight with Lauren, whatever. That, I don't know. I think that's almost what helps me have some semblance of happiness.
Yeah.
That's the hardest thing to get, is a balance.
Why do you
of
think you work
happiness.
so much?
Lauren's been trying to figure that out with me too. is why?
Has it always been like this?
Yeah, it's always been this.
It's always been like this.
Yeah.
Since
yeah.
when? When did you notice that maybe you had a thing for work?
Probably my first job, which
Red Robin.
Actually,
No?
so a couple before
Jamba
that.
Juice.
Hollister.
Hollister. That's it.
Yeah, yeah. And then as soon as
This is like,
as soon as my manager found out that I was volunteering for the police department, she cut my hours to 0.
why?
Why?
Well, I think one of the people in her family had been like discriminated against by a cop or something like that, and so I'm like, well, shouldn't have said that. There goes that job. So,
Wow,
but I
okay.
spent 3 years with law enforcement.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I always worked at my jobs like it was my own business, and it was really frustrating because I'll never forget scraping mold off the shelves of Jamba Juice in the back. Nobody else would do that stuff, and it's just like, this is my shop. I'm gonna do it as best as I can. And then after a year of doing that, they give me a 10-cent raise. I'm like, I'm out of here.
Right.
Yeah.
So you've always had this knack to want to continue working because your work ethic is something that I think just we're all shocked about it. Like we have group texts between all the finance people, and we're like, Kevin just posted his 4th video today.
Stop! No, you
How did he-
don't.
Seriously,
And I'm not in these chats.
I'm being no. So we have a Vegas. We have a Vegas chat between me, Jeremy, and Andre.
Okay.
And so it's between the 3 of us that will be like, did you see Kevin's like 5th video today? How does he do it? How can he do this? And we're all in shock at like just the momentum. Because I remember we talked a few months ago. I'm like, dude, you're gonna get burnt out at doing this after like 3 months, 2 months. How you're not gonna sustain it? You've done it. You've like doubled the length where I thought you would be able to do it and not get burnt out.
it's quite bizarre nowadays with this new schedule that I have, the 5 to 2. I wake up in the morning and I'm jazzed to do it. Like I don't know what it is. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe Jerome Powell did this, all right? Like, and that sounds like so stupid, but for me, it's almost like dual purpose, because the more I know about what's going on in the government, and the more I could see that's going on with stimulus or the Fed or whatever, the more it makes me feel comfortable about my real estate investments.
Yeah.
That's
But
what
let's go deeper. Why work so much? What does that give you?
Yeah.
Like I'm
Is
trying
it for
to
money,
get
or is
down.
it for like self-fulfillment?
You know,
Because the reason I ask, I'm the exact same way.
Yeah.
So like I'm trying to get your perspective and your point of view to better understand mine.
Yeah,
'Cause I'm the same
that's
way.
the
Like
point.
I love it. Like I'm excited to wake up every single morning and be like, okay, now I can get to work. Like I
Yeah.
love it. There's something about it that just makes me feel fulfilled.
Sure.
So I'm curious from your perspective.
yeah, I can't say that it's a dollar amount, just because Lauren and I, we don't spend much on ourselves. You know, I'll buy equipment. Anything that I could justify as work related, I'll spend a lot of money on. Yeah, I don't know, because you're right. I mean, I was thinking about it too. It's just sell all the stocks, pay off half the properties, and just coast. I mean, I could also just sell everything and put our entire net worth into AT&T, and take a 7% dividend and not have to work ever again. You know, so I don't know why. I think
You don't
that's,
know
that's
why.
the weird thing is it's not. It can't be a number.
You gotta have an idea.
It can't. It's not a number. I know that. Number doesn't mean much in the bank account. I think maybe
Is it notoriety? Is it having a sense of having a purpose? What
that's
is it?
That's it. So
Purpose.
not it's purpose. Purpose more. Like I feel like one of the things that I love doing that a lot of people don't love so much is buying fixer-uppers and then holding them as rentals. Especially here in California, that's a hard thing to grasp. Like why? Why does that make sense? Because the cash flow is not that great out here. And I think really expanding on that business model is something that I'm just so jazzed about. Something that I could keep doing, and I don't have a boss. I could do that
What
myself.
purpose does that give you? Owning rental properties.
Well, you know, it's almost like I studied some philosophy at UCLA where they're like, okay, well, what's the purpose of this? What's the purpose of this? And it all goes down. I remember Aristotle said it all comes down to living a good life. Was their conclusion. And I read those because I have the same curiosity as you. Like, what's the bottom line? Like, why am I doing all this? Because
Right.
there are some days you wake up and you're like, I don't want to do anything today.
Oh, 100%.
Or you wake up excited and then you can't get anything done. Like the creativity doesn't come, right? Those days happen. So there are frustrations that come with it all. And yeah, it makes you wonder, like, well, just quit and forget everything. But I don't know. Here I am. I just keep waking up every day.
But you haven't thought about why?
take
Or like,
this off.
what's your end result? You
What's
haven't
the
thought
end
about
goal?
that?
No. Because I tell Lauren, I go, so what are we gonna do? We're just gonna go live in I mean, one day I'd love to live on like the coast of Spain or the coast of France or something. Have that Mediterranean climate like we do here in SoCal, but just live somewhere over there on the Mediterranean Sea and just hang out like in all those movies. But I don't know that I'm ever gonna do it because I just keep working, and it's almost like a sin. Like why? Like stop. I don't know.
Do you think you'd be happy if you were to just completely stop working? Because I think you're similar to Kevin O'Leary, because he said that what he wanted to do was finally retire. So he took 3 years of his life where he said he wanted to visit every single like famous beach in the world.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's what he said he wanted to do. And he went and he did that. But then he wanted to come home so bad, like a year into it, because he was miserable. He just wanted to continue working. Do you think that that's something that you could see yourself doing? Like,
I could see that. You know, having that experience with those Saturdays off. And it's so weird because I remember being in high school and it's like, school sucks. You know, like I
Yeah.
hated school.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I would ditch school and I would always get detention or I didn't, suspended from school. Internal suspension, they called it. And I would do anything to escape. So I'd park my car in the construction yard so there's no gate to get out and so I could go play World of Warcraft. That was like my childhood. RuneScape, Splinter Cell or whatever. I hated school. And I think it's almost like if you're just not like, I can grow with this. I saw no growing with
Yeah.
school. I'm like, I hate it. It sucks. Get me out of here. But with this, I feel like I could keep growing. I could
Right.
keep buying
Yeah.
houses. I could keep fixing up crappy houses and getting tenants into houses and keep doing it. Why? I don't know. I feel like a rat on a hamster wheel, but I like my wheel.
What is it about it that you like so much?
The houses?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Because it sounds like it's not money. Is it the challenge? Is it?
I mean, the before and
is it?
afters are nice,
Yeah.
you know, but
See, I got tired of it. At first,
Really,
I
yeah.
loved being able to put your own touch on a house. Like
Yeah.
for me, it was like so to be like, that's my house. I own that one, and put all your own touches on it and colors on it. And people drive by and you're like, I picked out that color and those trims, and those are my hedges out front. It's cool. But after a while, now I'm like, I'm over it. I'm not trying to get more work like that.
True.
Yeah.
You know, that's interesting. You said that. It's almost. I'm thinking now. It's almost like becoming a game. Like how little can I spend per project, and they all have the same formula. So it's the same cabinet paint, it's the same wall paint, it's the same baseboards. To the point where the people that I work with, the crew that I work with, great guys, we're just like, all right, here's another one, and they already walk in. They go, all right, I know I gotta get this, and it makes it so easy to where when I'm off at 2, I go check in on the properties, and the guys are doing great stuff. And so I think maybe another vision that I have is. Part of what you read in that email, that meet and done business, is if I can have a lot of employees, so to speak, or maybe just workers, because they're all 1099. They make their own schedule. They come when they want to work. But workers that I could constantly provide work for. And if I had just like an army of amazing people like that, like, don't worry, I got another project for you. And they were able to come to work, not have to deal with clients, not have to deal with callbacks, not have to deal with all the crap that contractors usually have to deal with, because it's the same formula. Every property is exactly the same. There's no mystery to it. I think that almost gives me happiness. Like, I feel happy just talking about the idea of like an army of 200 people that always have work that I'm able to provide for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it 200?
And right now it's 3.
At one point, it'll be an
and that's the
army,
future goal is the army vision. No, right now it's 3 really great workers, and like, you know, a great painter, great other people. But yeah, in the future, I think that would be such a wonderful thing. My failure with Meet and Done was doing work for other people.
Explain what meet and done is.
Yeah. So Meet and Done was my vision of being a real estate broker, to where I could go to somebody and say, I'll sell your house the way it is, or you can hire my contracting business.
Why is that blinking right there?
Yeah, this is a crappy Canon R that they charge like $3,000 for, and it overheats.
So it's overheating.
So it's overheating on I didn't think it would do that on 1080p, but yeah, it's overheating. So in a few minutes it'll melt, and we'll just look at the other camera.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Jeez.
they
All
say there's a firmware update, or I'm still within Amazon's 30-day return policy, and it's going back.
Jeez. Okay. Whatever. Yeah.
Where Renos people meet and done. Yes, real estate broker. Hey, you want to sell your house? Hey, I could sell your house as is. You could also hire my contracting business, and we'll fix it up for you. And we'll even do a loan for you. We'll lend you the money to fix it up. That was meet and lend. And then Lauren would come in and do meet and stage.
You guys.
Everything. No, literally top to bottom. Or we'll just buy it as is as a cash investor.
Wow.
Yeah. But where the failure was, the business worked amazingly until I started taking on individual clients who were like, no, I want this crown molding. No, I want this paint. No, I want this cabinet. It went away from me, from my vision. It became their vision. And I don't like that. I want my vision. And actually, the more we just talk about it, the more it's almost like, you know, I think that's maybe what it is finding your own purpose and building that.
That reminds me, you called into Grant Cardone, and he told you to shut that down, didn't he? Oh, wait, I think it just shut down.
That guy he'll come back and
melted.
That camera melted. That camera will come back in
Will it come
10
back
minutes.
automatically?
No, we'll have to recruit help here in 10 minutes.
Wait, is it really going to be 10 minutes for that?
I have no idea, honestly. I thought if I filmed on 1080 it wouldn't do that, but it still does.
Why don't we film at
When did that
720?
camera come out?
It just came out like 2 months ago.
Why
Yeah,
don't we film at 720?
That's pretty.
I don't know that it's that. I think it just sucks. So
Should we just get your other camera?
I'm going to grab the other camera.
yeah,
and
let's do
sit
that.
right here.
Pop the
Give
other
me a
camera there.
sec. So what then made you do the switch to YouTube?
Oh wow, yeah.
Why from real estate to YouTube? Because this has been a recent, I would say, the last year.
The growth, or what? My switch.
I would say just focusing on YouTube.
Oh, the switch in general. Oh,
Right.
yeah. No, completely agree with you. Oh, I feel like a klutz. Sorry. Yeah, it's YouTube was so fascinating because I was able to share my perspective, which I kind of layered initially on top because my first video was in reference to you or Cardone. You had brought that up, and everybody has different perspectives, and that's the beautiful thing about YouTube is you really have the opportunity to share. Hey, that's a great way to do it. Here's another way, and it's shocking to see that there are people who resonate with that. I always thought like there's no way I'm ever gonna get to 10,000 subscribers or 100K. Oh my gosh, a dream.
You got to 10K from my video.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So you enjoy the work of YouTube more than you enjoy any other work.
Oh my gosh. Well, I enjoy. You know what? I think we're actually creating a conclusion here that you have been kind of looking for that I didn't even know myself.
Yeah.
I love that I'm like fully my own boss now, because when I was constantly representing clients, when I emailed you, I was doing 40 deals. So you're talking 40 deals in a year, you're dealing with 60, 70 clients because not all of them are going to close. So 60 or 70
Probably more than
serious
that.
clients and more
Probably
prospects
100
on
plus,
top of that. Yeah. Not having to drop everything to do what somebody else wants and instead being able to have my own desires and like, no, we're doing this on this property. It's so fulfilling.
Yeah.
You know, the architects, the workers, the electricians, they call me. What do you want to do? What do you want to do with this problem? Well, this is what we're gonna do. Because I get to decide.
But I remember
love that.
But I remember in the beginning of YouTube, you took a totally different approach from everybody else. You really made the content unique. Kevin filmed in bushes.
Yeah.
He would go film in playgrounds. He would film behind buildings. I mean, it was just weird stuff. I remember watching your first video on me, thinking it was like some type of hit piece or something. And then I watched it. At first, I was like, this is strange, but he's not saying anything bad. But the title is like, what Graham Stephan isn't telling you, as if I'm hiding something. And he's filming in a bush, and then he's jumping out of a playground, and it's just weird stuff.
Yeah.
Weird. Yeah. And you continued that through pretty much every single video. And then you took the pivot, I think about 20,000 subscribers, to do exposed videos. It's hilarious. Back at a time, back in the day when exposed videos were a thing. Like when you put exposed in the title, people clicked. Now you put exposed in the title, no one cares.
Nobody cares anymore.
But back then, 3 years ago, you put Grant Cardone exposed. Maybe we bleep out that name. Let's bleep out that name. But
we can talk about that if you want.
Can we talk about it?
Fully.
Okay. So, wow, that opens up a lot. So
That's a fun story, too.
So you could do exposed videos, and you took a liking to someone in particular.
The videos wrote themselves, man. Shouldn't say that.
It's fun. Now, most people don't know this. The crazy thing is now is that you've grown so much for the stimulus content that no one really
remembers
knows
the old stuff.
The real Kevin, the Kevin that's behind the stimulus content, used to be really good at doing exposed videos. Those were your forte. What you would do is you'd pick these like these internet gurus, and you would pick them apart and find everything wrong with them and make it known. I mean,
It's terrible.
the thing is, I always loved watching these videos because I knew it was going to be like this juicy gossip of finance stuff that no one would ever say.
Yeah.
But you would just go all out and just say it.
It was probably
So
a mistake.
explain it. Where did that come from?
Yeah, so I think probably the inside Kevin is I don't know. I call myself a little crazy. Like just when there are times when if I could just be fully me, I just feel like I'm just doing whatever I want, like fun, crazy things. And those videos were almost that expression.
Yeah.
You know, news, which is more what I'm doing now, financial news, is
Really quick.
Yeah.
Didn't I tell you like 2.5 years ago?
I don't know what he's
you
talking
should be
about.
doing news. Didn't I tell you that?
You did.
2.5
you did,
years ago, I'm like,
pretty
dude,
much
just do news,
everything
yeah.
you've told me.
Has been right. Seriously, I kid you not. Everything
give
I've
you
told
credit.
you, all of my recommendations for you have been right.
Yeah. Well, I would not be doing what I'm doing if it weren't for me even having reached out to you.
There we go.
Yeah. No, I will
So,
sincerely say that.
Cool.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
owe me money.
It's
I
incredible.
should have taken a credit back then.
Yeah.
Be like, you 10% of everything you make.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kidding.
Hey,
But,
you get all my teachable renewals. You get 30% on those.
Do I?
Yeah, you should check, man.
Okay, I'll
Otherwise, they're
check
ripping
that.
you off because I
Okay.
for sure used your affiliate. I'm
All
paying
right.
them like $5,000
I don't think I
year.
am. I don't think I am getting that, but
We'll check.
I'll check. But anyway,
yeah.
so
what the transition?
so yeah, but no, the exposed videos back then.
It's not something that I almost am proud of. It's something
fair.
that I look back on like that's Kevin in his natural state, and I think it's too jaded. I think it's better to just look at the positive. So I've really had more of a shift there. Some people say I'm too optimistic.
Yeah.
And I've always been a very optimistic person, but I always thought that it was almost like my job to be like this protector and like, no, don't tell somebody they can't buy a single family and make a lot of money. I will make 30 videos on you.
Yeah. I almost think it wasn't that. My honest thought is that you liked pushing the line.
Oh, I do love that.
You love just like
I still do that.
just picking at people, like just poking them, and just waiting into the moment where they finally snap back. And I think your thing is you find it fun to see how far away you could get with something before they'll punch back. That's what I honestly think.
Yeah, I'm not good at following rules. That's
Yeah.
another thing that gives me a lot of happiness. Actually, is having that freedom from rules. We moved out of and I love my in-laws, but we moved out of my in-laws' parents' house when Lauren and I were living there because there were rules. I stopped caring about school because of rules. I stopped caring about
But I almost
clients
think
because of rules.
you purposely like going against what other people are saying. I think if everyone agreed that this candle is orange, let's just say,
Oh.
you would purposely be like, that's a different shade of orange. And you would purposely, because you like that challenge.
I don't know.
Because here's the thing. I'm going to bring this up. Back in the day, you said you would never do a course. Remember that?
you
were-
did too.
I just, but
That's true. That's
touche.
true.
But I openly talked about why I changed my perspective and what led that.
That
You
makes
said the same thing.
everything better.
You said the same thing too. But I thought back then, because I came out with my real estate course, and I remember you saying back then that you were gonna give the same thing but free on YouTube.
I said that. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay.
And you came out with the whole course. And then I think you realized that no one was watching those videos.
That's the problem.
And
Yeah.
then you just said, well, if I charge people for it now they're all gonna watch it. And they did.
Yeah. 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 The course transition it was always really interesting because I went into it and thought, oh my gosh, why? Like, I didn't monetize my channel.
Yeah.
You told me to monetize my channel. Yeah, it's fascinating. When people sign up for a course, it's almost like, and they pay money for it, it's almost like they're motivated, like, oh my gosh, I'm going to get through all these sections. And people, they go through, like, I mean, the 350 lectures I have in the like, oh my gosh, like, people go through this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's almost like they come out a different human. But you can't do that on YouTube because it doesn't get views. Like, I can't do chapter 6.2, how to, use net present value to get the best deal on loan. I can't do that on YouTube. Who's going to click on that? Instead, Grant Cardone exposed.
Yes.
Boom! 800,000 views, baby.
It's true. How long did those videos take you to do? Are they still up? Can people still watch
of
theirs?
course. Sure, yeah.
Gosh,
I've been asked
guys.
many times to remove them.
So, are you allowed to talk? Because didn't you get
Cardone
into-
I could talk about all day
So,
long.
okay, so you were sued twice. Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, I've been sued. That's why I created the shirts. Don't sue me. I should have worn that. Don't
Yeah,
sue
you
me,
should've.
bro. Yeah. But honestly, I've almost tried to distance myself from the "Don't Sue Me, Bro" because it reminds me of when I did take a more jaded approach. Part of me thinks, and I'm not trying to blame it on that, but part of me thinks that was almost like a law enforcement issue because I think cops have obviously not the best rap, especially in today's day and age. But having been on the road for 1,500 to 2,000 hours, I kind of started almost becoming jaded because of what it was like to be in that car. And to see the police pursuits and the brutality and on all sides, and that it was almost like I was going when I was 17, 18 years old, just finishing up, not doing it anymore. I'm going into the Starbucks and I'm twitching around, looking where everybody's hands are, and it really jades you. And that stuck with me until well into my 20s, and I think I'm finally becoming a lot more like chill and more trusting and less jaded.
Wait, so what does that have to do with the exposed videos?
Oh, because to me that's totally just what being almost like a detective in the police was, and we would train with either the SWAT team or detectives on case files, and it was an incredible time, and I really miss that time.
So you're trying to police the internet, so to speak.
Yeah, you could say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't recommend it. I cannot recommend it. No, and I would never do it again if I could go
Okay.
back. I wouldn't do it again.
I told you though, for the record,
Yes, you did.
told you not to do that.
You did.
What
yeah,
have you told
yeah.
Graham? Have you told Graham anything that he's
Oh,
implemented?
now
and
you're
it's-
putting me on the spot. I mean, I think we share a lot of great ideas. I don't
Yeah.
know that there's something we can individually point to, but I mean, we share a lot of great ideas.
Kevin
that
doesn't
we,
keep
a no.
tabs of every time. He doesn't
No,
keep tabs. Graham
that's a
keeps
fancy
tabs.
answer of saying no.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's another thing that I've
Yeah.
really started trying to distance myself from a lot. And this is a thing that actually takes a lot of happiness away, I notice. I'm just going to talk about myself, but I remember in...
It's all about you, man.
No, when it's kind of okay. In 2018, 19 even, a lot of me, I felt like it was me relative to other people, right?
Yes.
And that is toxic. I call it like the toxicity of relativity. I think I talked about it in your video, the first video that I did. I may have, I don't know. But anyway, the last few months, I've stopped looking at Social Blade. I've stopped looking at other people's subs and other people's videos. And sometimes people are like, oh, didn't you see this person's video? They talked about you. And I've almost tried to just distance myself and just go, I'm just going to talk about what I want to talk about, which I love the financial news. I'm going to put it out there. And I try my best to stay away. I like to be supportive. So, you and Jeremy, I'll pop in, I'll leave comments. But most of the way, I just try to ignore it because it's comparing myself to other people takes all of my joy away. All of like any of the success that I could have a great video that I put out. It ranks the best out of my last 10 videos. And then I go look at somebody else and they got more videos faster or more views faster than me. And I the rest of the day's ruined. It's like
Talking
I'm
about
miserable.
Clear value tax.
No, I try.
Stephen Gardner.
I mean, I think they're both great. They have a really good way of connecting with their audience. That's one of my problems is it takes a while for people to kind of crack the Kevin shell, I'm told. Like initially people I
can
just
see
want to
that.
punch you in the face. I get that all the time.
All the time too.
Yeah, no.
You have a very punchable face.
Oh yeah, they comment that a lot.
Thanks.
But you
Thanks,
warm
Jack.
up to
Yeah.
people way faster. Like people, I feel like people connect with you way faster, and I think that's
You're
something that helps
very
you grow.
analytical. You're too analytical for most people.
That could be.
That's the reason why. Stephen Gardner is like the first thing when I watch Stephen Gardner, I think Family Man.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like he just
Brainy.
took a break from hanging out with his kids and his wife.
Yeah.
To go and film a 10-minute video, upload it, and he's right back to his
He's got a
family.
big heart.
That's what I think when I think Stephen Gardner. And then Clear Value Tax is
Such
just
a character.
It's just a character. It's
Yeah.
like this guy. He gets angry sometimes. He sounds frustrated when he's talking about Nancy Pelosi. It's just Nancy Pelosi is, and it's just just his whole demeanor is just it's kind of like it makes you want to like you feel it.
Yeah.
With you
don't.
You don't feel it when you talk about Nancy Pelosi. It's analytical. It's just the facts. That's really what it comes down to. It's just facts.
I could see that. And
That demographic is smaller.
Yeah.
The people who just want facts. I think your demographic is very smart. They're very educated people, but they're very analytical.
yeah, maybe. I haven't figured myself out. Yeah, that's one thing I realize is whatever. It feels like every year I look back at myself, I'm like, I was an idiot last year.
Well, it
And
seems like
never
you are
stops.
then. If you're continually thinking that what you did the previous year is something different, you've changed. It sounds like you're figuring yourself out. Like
Slow
the whole
down.
optimism thing
Yeah.
is crazy because now you get to put like a positive spin on everything. That seems like the best kind of progress that you can have.
It's made me happier. And I'll never forget being in high school, and I did speech and debate in high school, so I was doing a debate, and my finishing argument, and this was gonna like take home the win on this debate I was having with this person I was like totally big rivals with, I started talking. There was some sort of optimism argument that I had, and so I put it to the class and surveyed this class of like 40 debaters, like who here's more optimistic more often than they are pessimistic. I got like 5 votes. 35 out of the 40 people were like, no, I generally look at the cup half empty versus half full. And that's when, like, that has stuck with me since then. And I think possibly maybe that's why the clear value has that, and I'm not saying he looks at the cup half empty, but I think that appeals to that demographic.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
it's that anger, that incitement
Yeah.
is powerful. I think that's what you see with news media now today. CNN is trying to incite anger. Fox is trying to incite anger.
Yeah. That is just human nature. That's how we're wired.
I think it's
So-
bad. It
That's
robs
true,
happiness.
because we are more risk averse than we are willing to
Sure.
take a risk
Yes.
to gain
Yes.
profit, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Because we're scared of
Yeah.
what could happen.
Yes.
Of course. Same with a lot of our video title. I mean, it's a lot of it is
Yeah.
Negative.
Is centered around is the market about to crash? Is the
And
stock
the
market
answer
about
is
to
like, no.
Yeah.
That's fine. Buy and
yeah.
hold index funds. There you go.
100%. It's negativity sells. And what do they say? Negativity travels 7 times as fast as positive.
But why not play into that? My whole thing is you could play into the negativity with a headline, but then you could turn around the perception in the video. Because if I said, real estate's going up 10% next, but no one would
No one
watch
watches
it.
that.
No one watches it, so they get no value from it. On the
Yeah.
other hand, is real estate market about to collapse?
Sure.
10 times the amount of views, and in the video you explain your reasoning so that by the end of it they're like, okay, now I feel comfortable. So
Yeah.
it's you acknowledge human psychology,
Yes.
and then you have once you're there, you have an effort to change perception.
Yeah, yeah. I think almost every YouTuber has to almost do that. I think there are certain niches in YouTube that can get away with not having to do any of that, specifically probably tech. You show something on a thumbnail, you don't have to necessarily be super negative, unless you disagree with that.
No,
I'm
that
taking it the
Samsung
takeaway.
foldable phone, everything was negative. Those are all
Really?
trending. Oh, yeah.
Really? Okay, all right.
Think of Tesla. The problem with Tesla.
Oh,
my
true.
regrets,
My
with
regrets.
Tesla.
Oh,
the
my
truth
gosh.
after
Oh.
15,000.
Yeah,
People want to
fair.
know what's wrong. Like, think of it when
true.
you buy something. Wouldn't you rather
Maybe you're thinking
know?
Marquez.
Wouldn't you rather know if you're about to buy this camera? What's wrong with the camera
Yes,
first,
yes.
or what's right?
Yeah,
I think it goes true with anything. You'd rather know first what's wrong.
I'll do my
with
first
it.
tech review on that one right there. Yeah, we could try to turn that one back on again.
five
But no,
things that-
you're right.
Because
That's
otherwise,
true.
it's like if everything's fine with it, you get what you pay for. Fine,
Yeah,
it's boring.
yeah.
But what's wrong?
Well, that's an interesting, almost just human nature thing that I think you brought up very well. That that's the thing about life, though. And I think just going to that original question, though, what brings happiness? I think that probably answers it for me.
What?
Is optimism, not relative, and providing for other people. Providing jobs and
Yeah.
security for other people. But you did bring up Cardone. Should we talk about that?
Yeah.
Ask me some questions.
Oh man, what? Jack,
So you made a video on him.
do you know?
No, I think you've told me a year ago, a long time ago. I
Probably.
think you've told me.
Yeah. This is what we tell. This is our campfire here. Gather the kids around and tell a spooky story for Halloween. That time Uncle G sued me, Kevin.
Speaking of which, do you know that he's supposed to be on Undercover Billionaire?
Wow.
Yeah, he's the next Undercover Billionaire. Where's my phone?
Are you serious?
Yeah. He's
Wow.
rumor has it.
Yeah.
No sources to be sourced here. Rumor has it he COVID kind of hurt the outcome, and so now they're trying to delay posting it, or like the Cardone camp's trying to delay getting it out because they don't want the result to be what it is now.
So what's what's Undercover Billionaire? What is this? Because I'm thinking like undercover jobs, like where they go and behind
It's
the scenes.
that
Or what
they
is
had
this?
it's a Discovery Channel show. They did one with he was a really good guy. I don't remember who it was, but they did a whole season where basically they give someone $100 and a cell phone, and they're like, oh, go start a business or
Yes,
whatever in
I've
90
seen that,
days. Yeah. It's a great concept.
Yeah.
But he actually he has an Instagram that has like 150 followers on his starting new account. And
150.
oh yeah, because nobody knows about this yet.
Right.
But yeah, it's funny because I made so many Cardone exposed videos. I get all the hits on Cardone. It's hilarious.
But you know the
I can't
Instagram.
find him. I do know the Instagram.
I'm not going to shout it out. Though.
No, I'll gladly shout it out. I don't care. I mean, good for him. I think it's awesome he got on that. I just can't figure out what it is now. There's got to be a way I could go to followers. I got 138. It's got to be one of these. So I'll find it.
Okay.
But yeah, I have to give Cardone credit because he gave me plenty of content to make plenty of videos from.
Your biggest videos back then were Grant Cardone exposed videos, or just exposed videos in general.
Yes.
And I remember those would take you about a week to do research
long
and film.
time.
You would post, and it would just be an instant hit. I mean, I remember back then you were getting like 20,000 views the first hour, which back then for your channel,
Huge.
that would be the equivalent of me getting like 500,000 views in an hour, the first hour. on a
Relative to
video.
the subscribers.
Relative to the subscribers.
Yes.
Just these videos just took off and would get hundreds of thousands of views. Again, it would be like me getting 10 million views on a video.
I
Right now,
wonder
the
if he
equivalent.
blocked me because I can't find him anymore. I wouldn't be surprised because he blocked me on the other one. Then I'd have to go on my email.
What did you do to Grant Cardone?
Oh,
Explain
well,
this.
I think all the videos probably did. Oh, I found him. Real Luis Curtis. There he is. See, look at that. Real Luis Curtis. And then, hey, look at that. Look at the followers. 252 followers.
So what was the point of this?
I think this was his undercover billionaire. See there, his name's Pueblo. And you'll have to put these pictures on screen. This is him with the COVID mask back on July 19th. There's this undercover look with the glasses they gave him and stuff.
So they set him out, and he's got to make money now.
Yeah, and I think he made some marketing business or something like
And
that.
it
which
didn't
makes sense.
go
It's
as well
episode.
as he had.
Well, that's and I don't know this, but the root, yes, he will work for $1 million as a sign or whatever. Like I don't know, whatever. These silly things he's got out here. I haven't looked at it.
okay.
But yeah, no. So, somebody reached out and said, just I mean, hey, just FYI, like. I know this is happening. Here's the Instagram, and
That's crazy to have those connections. Like no one would find that ever, and to know someone who's in on that to message you and you see all this, it's pretty remarkable.
It's weird though. But yeah, I mean, I think probably I shouldn't have delivered flowers to his office.
Let me explain it because we're circling what you did.
Yes,
you made many videos. Many a video
Like 40.
exposing Grant Cardone. That was
You made 40?
At least
it was a lot.
I thought it
would
was
say
like less than 10.
no. It was a lot of videos.
they all got such good views.
Well, that's the thing. You sometimes if you do one video and people love it, and I remember back then people were literally commenting on my channel. Can you expose Grant Cardone? Could you they already knew what it was, but can you expose him? Can you expose him? So anyway, you made a lot of videos on Grant Cardone, and for what was it, April Fools or no, it was Christmas.
Christmas 20 was it 18?
You wanted to fly to Florida and deliver flowers to his office, and you rented a whole big U-Haul truck. You bought like $2,000 worth of flowers, poinsettia flowers.
That's right.
Dressed as elves in a Santa with a megaphone to deliver. And I told you not to do it. I said it was a bad idea, but that was the point too. We were hanging out with Danny Duncan. And I think you got the inspiration from Danny Duncan to be like, just pulling some silly little prank. I said, don't do it. We're not Danny Duncan. We can't do that. So you flew to Florida and you filmed this video. And I told you, you sent it to me. And I remember being in Vegas.
Gambling.
Yeah, walking into it. Yeah, I was at the craps table. You send me this video. I stepped aside. I watched it. Like, don't post it. Don't post the video. And like 5 minutes later, it goes live. And I'm thinking, this is so silly. And I remember watching the video. Just it's a bad idea. The whole thing went wrong. You pushed the boundaries. Grant Cardone sued for trespassing. He went through an expensive lawsuit. You won. Then I told you don't post about the lawsuit that you won. And you did post about the lawsuit that you won. And then he sues you again for something else. And I'm like, just don't post this time about winning. And he didn't post that time. So anyway, but that's not the only one. There's another one. We won't talk about the other one, but there's someone else who can't be named also sued you for, it's a touchy one, but another personal finance person. We'll put it that way.
I won't. I can bleep it.
So how much were both of those lawsuits? How much did that cost you?
Well, so I think to back up a tiny bit, you're right. There was a time that I was very interested in. Hey, let's do the Kevin in the Wilderness prank style videos. And that's very common, not in the finance space at all. That's very common in the other spaces. And I had gone to the what's that house called where Mr. Beast did the circle challenge?
The Phase House.
It was the
the
Hype
Hype
House, and then before that it was the Phase House.
Right.
Yeah. And I think probably a little overexposed to the whole idea of pranks and challenges. Korea, well, we could do this in finance. And so that led to what I thought were creative ideas to create a point. But obviously, not all ideas work out. That is something that one of my flaws is I will try something even if it has a good chance of failing, and I admit that that's a failure. There are a lot of times in my life where I look, I've done 2 steps forward, 1 step back. I probably could have been in a much better place if I didn't do some of those 1 step backs. Fortunately, I will say, both of the lawsuits, while they probably cost $150,000, tax write-off, it's over. I didn't lose.
What
They're
would have happened
gone.
if you had lost?
Well, see, the Cardone ones were a joke because I got sued for stalking, not trespassing, stalking. And and they used the YouTube videos to suggest that I was a stalker, but that doesn't work. And so then they said, okay, well, we have 2 instances where Kevin personally stalked me. And in one of the instances, Cardone wasn't even there. And so the judge was like, you got nothing. So that was nicely thrown out. So that was easy. But the way the legal system works in America is, and this is something to take away, is if you get sued and you don't have a contract, there's something called the American rule that says you're responsible for your own legal fees. So he has an in-house legal counsel who gets paid a salary no matter what. Because it's a domestic violence lawsuit, he doesn't have filing fees at the court. So he gets to file a lawsuit for free, no extra charges with his attorney to try to make my life miserable. I pay 40 or 50 grand getting to in front of a judge to where they dismiss the lawsuit. And I'm stuck with the bill. I'm stuck paying my part. So I mean, there's something where now when people ask me, for example, which I get all the time, they're like, Kevin, should I have an LLC? That's probably the most common question I get is, I need an LLC, I need an LLC, I need an LLC. You're going to start a 3D Matterport business? Gotta have an LLC. Going to be an agent? Gotta have an LLC. Going to have real estate? Gotta have an LLC. It's bull. It does nothing for you. What does good for you is insurance, proper insurance. If you're doing the stuff I was doing, media insurance is a good idea. If you're a landlord, proper umbrella policies and things like that. But I've been in depositions, and I have an S corporation. Does nothing for you unless you're ready to have a professional CPA who knows everything about your books and your company and handles the books for your company, who could testify and know everything about your company, and then forensic accountants who are able to corroborate
And
that
be
your
able
corporation's
to
separate.
bankrupt that company and just let it go.
Or let it go BK. Yeah, it's worthless. Yeah. So the life lessons that I've learned from those, I think, have been profitable or will be profitable in the long term. So I'm excited about that. Want to switch cameras?
So they seem pretty expensive, but they also seem worthwhile, those life lessons.
Every failure I've had, from Meet and Done, which lost me like 200 grand, to the lawsuits, or being an idiot in school, or doing goofy things, because even though, and then that's one of my problems, my fatal flaws, I feel like, is I will get told from a million people, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And I will just do it anyway because I had to. And nothing's changed. When I was 16, I was told, you're going on too many ride-alongs with law enforcement. You can only go on a ride-along 1 day a week. I was so pissed. I went in at 12 a.m. midnight, and I did the night shift and the day shift in the same day. So I got 2 ride-alongs. They were so pissed because I got that. It was 1 day. That's what you said.
You like pushing the boundary. That's
like you
all,
said.
That's all this
it
is
always
about.
comes back to that.
Because you will never listen unless you learn yourself the hard way.
Yes. And I admit that's a flaw, but I still do.
No, you say it's a flaw, but at the same time, if you've learned such valuable
So many
lessons
things.
from
Expensive
all these experiences, they're expensive, but at the same time, you said it would probably prove worthy at some point in the future. Like,
I
you'll
think
get
it already
an
has.
ROI on those expensive lessons.
I would say even just from a happiness point of view, the ROI return has been endless, because I've experienced so many different things and failed in so many ways that I can really look at the successes and go, I'm happy. And that's really helpful. So it's almost like if I only had successes without failures, it wouldn't be as good. I don't know.
So it's not so much a shortcoming anymore.
No, I look back at every stupid thing I've done and I just laugh about it.
But
now.
you're also, it's good for you because I know that there are definitely people out there that have failures and then they spin it in a way to where they like can't use that failure to be productive or grow in the future. But you, obviously, you're able to use these failures that you've had and turn them into learning experiences. And that's not something everyone can do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe there are just some failures you can't learn that are just like, I'm an idiot, and you move on, right?
That was dumb.
That was really dumb.
That's true.
You know,
That's very true.
but hey, you know, if you can make the best of everything, the day goes by happier. And there are days that I freak out, you know, when like, because the way I've set up my studio, I think you were asking me, I think during the break, is like, why did I spend $150,000 on my studio? It's so that when I walk in there, everything's perfect. I don't have to set up anything. I push a couple buttons and I start filming. And there are those times where it's like something goes wrong and I'm like, oh, like that frustration comes over. But everything what I'm trying to do is just systemize every part of my life where like, been there, don't need to do that again. Been there, don't need to do that again. And I'm always trying to find where's that left lane on the highway where I can set autopilot and go. And that's almost kind of that groove that I feel like I'm in right now. Okay, there's a real estate deal. Great, we've got the formula for it. Okay, this is a breaking news topic. All right, we're gonna do the thumbnail first. We got our clapper ready. You know, we got what we're gonna wear. You gotta have the clapper. You know, I don't got any face powder, but I got to get some face powder on, and you're good to go. You know, see, I run really hot too. People always wonder, like, why are you always wearing a jacket? It's because my studio is 65 degrees. It's like 80 in here, dude. I'm dying.
Oh, it's hot in here.
It's hot.
I'm wearing a
used to
jacket.
LA
I'm
weather.
totally fine right now.
LA weather is hard to get used to. You told me, like, you asked me what I like about the difference between here and the place we're from.
Yeah.
I mean, here it's so hot all the time.
Really?
Yes.
It's probably a 10-degree
It's so
difference.
hot all the time.
Oh my god, no, it's fine. That's why I'm wearing a jacket. I'm totally fine.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I'm hot in here.
So, well, Venturans here, but it's 90 in here.
No, we have the
No,
AC
it's-
on.
yeah.
We have the AC on.
You
set
don't
at
have
73.
AC.
Yeah, we do.
What?
Yeah, it's set
You
at
have the window
73.
open.
It's set at 73 because it's colder outside than it is inside.
Oh my god.
That's funny. You said you run it at like 67. That's what we run it in our place in
Oh
Ventura
yeah.
as well.
I have.
Cold.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh,
We
it's nice.
No. 73. Last night it was kind of cold.
You know, well, everybody's different. That's the other thing
Yeah,
too.
sure.
And that's one thing that I mean, like I have 3 air conditioners in my office and in the studio, and I freeze it out. Lauren comes like, I'm not going in there. It's too cold. I'm like, good, don't touch anything. You'll freeze everybody out of there. Yeah, finding those systems, and then when things, you know, the funny thing, or maybe it's not even the funny thing, just the coolest thing about our world is you know when you're doing something right, and you know when you're doing something wrong. You do something wrong, oh, you get sued. you do something right, oh, the views go up. Keep doing more of that, right?
All right, so you make a lot of stimulus content now. Do you get bored of making stimulus content?
I don't. I really enjoy it. I mean, at least one a day, right? And my goal is if I could do one stim, one real estate, one stock video a day, perfect.
You call
That's
it
my
a
lane.
stim. Like you have a shortened name for it.
Sure. Oh yeah.
I
It's
found
not
it
a
funny
stim
once
video.
you started doing 2 stimulus updates a day. So I
late-
need my
the late one.
morning update of where my stimulus is, and then my evening update.
How do you
Yeah.
do that? Like, where do you get all the
Yeah.
news from to be able to come up with this like information? At least 10 minutes of talking points.
I think that almost goes back to high school because the debate style that I did was called Student Congress, and so it's all reading. I get 4 newspapers delivered. I have every news subscription there is, and I read to the end of these articles to really understand like every perspective possible, and then I could try to put this together into, okay, this is what's really going on between the lines, because every reporter has their own spin too. You read the Washington Post, they're left here. You know, people are like, the New York Times is way left, the New York Times is way less left than the Washington Post. And then you start noticing where the biases are. Okay, Politico's slightly left, right? The Economist kind of in the middle. The Financial Times, they're a little left. You go to Fox, they're obviously much more on the right. You know, you go to the Tax Foundation, a little right. And you start noticing these differences, and then you tie them together, and it's like, oh, okay, I can see a perspective here that I could share. And I love that. I love that.
So how many minutes or hours would you say you read of news every single day?
You know, in terms of news, I'm probably reading.
Where do you get it? What sites? What
It's
sites?
everything. It's
no,
everything.
don't say everything. Where's your sources?
You use Reddit?
No, that's one thing I don't use. I mean, mostly I go to the. You got to go to like the secondary pages of the big sites.
No, but tell us some sites.
So
What
Wall
sites?
Street Journal, New York
Wall
Times,
Street Journal, New York
the
Times.
Post, the Financial Times, amazing content. But I'll even read Foreign Affairs. All these boring things that nobody reads, The Economist and stuff like that. I have this weird thing where I like reading all that boring stuff and then just condensing it into something that I
How
can
much
explain. Yeah.
time do you spend every day reading?
Reading is most of it. See, like the filming and editing is fast. I edit my videos in about 5 minutes.
You posted your video, your income breakdown. We need a title for this video. Your income breakdown. You make $30,000 a day.
Yeah, that's so. There were.
How did that work?
I'll be
Yeah.
transparent with this. I don't think I've told you this. There were two. I shouldn't say this. There
I
were.
can bleep anything if you want.
No, it's.
No, we're gonna leave it in. Yeah.
There were 2 months this year that I crossed 7 figures.
Are you serious?
Between investing though, right? As
No.
well.
Wait.
Yeah.
Oh my. That's something I've always wanted to do.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been a ride.
So what do you do with that money? Where does it go?
All real estate.
All real
With
estate.
the exception of stocks in the meantime.
Let's talk about taxes
Wait,
for a
no,
second.
no, the 7 figures. How is that divided up? Like, because I know that your
Yeah.
AdSense, like
I mean, my AdSense almost hit 300K.
Yeah. What are your courses? I'm curious
Yeah.
courses because you plug the
Yeah.
courses a lot.
Well, I would say probably, and I have a lot of them, and I think that helps. But if I can consistently be, 3-4 a day, that's awesome.
But
that's great.
taxes.
Yeah.
How much are you
Yeah.
going to pay in taxes this year?
Yeah. Well, ideally very little. And that's the hardest thing. I've actually just recently been kind of thinking about why is it that Donald Trump doesn't want to show his tax returns? I personally believe it's because there are so many real estate loopholes to take such advanced depreciation on buildings, and you just continue to purchase buildings that you continuously, as somebody who's a full-time real estate investor, or real estate, what do they call it, professional, licensed real estate broker, whatever, you get to take all of these extra losses that normally people can't take.
This camera battery died.
Oh, we'll flip it on really quick.
Jack, would you mind turning that one off? So wait, let's just finish this thing. So you're saying then that his tax return is so intricate and he's got so many deductions and write-offs and figured out so many loopholes that the average person would not be able to decipher that and just see the net and be like, he's not making as much money as we think he is.
He is probably getting tax refund checks. And I think that would make people who see Trump as a billionaire, not trying to get political here,
Yeah,
but
sure.
I think that would destroy people's perceptions. And I think that would be very damaging to the brand that's supposed to be this mega, income brand. But I mean, the reality is that's the way business works almost. That's almost how these tax laws are written is you get, for example, take Cardone, for example. He's going to have zero income taxes for 2 years on probably $20 million a year of income because he bought a plane for 40 mil. Brilliant. He's just eradicated, all these taxes that you have to pay. And now you have an amazing marketing tool. It's brilliant. And he markets himself as a billionaire using other people's money. Brilliant. But the taxes, I mean,
The plane example.
Yeah.
So my understanding with that is you buy, let's say, a $50 million plane. Now you could write off, let's say you make $10 million a year, buy a $50 million plane. You're able to write off that entire cost of the plane in the first year as a business write-off, and then carry those extra $4 million losses into the following 4 years.
yeah, absolutely. I mean,
But the other thing is that when you sell the plane, you'll pay taxes on that recapture unless you could maybe find a way to 1031 that plane. Can you 1031 a plane?
Well, all you have to do, sure, because all you have to do is buy a new plane and then write that one off, right?
yeah, but
when
then
you
you're
sell the old plane.
Yeah. So because now you have this entirely new deduction again coming in on your new purchase.
No, wait. So let's say I write off $50 million on a plane.
Yep, zero cost basis. And you
Zero
sell
cost
it for 20
basis. Sell it for 20. Now I go and buy a new plane.
for 60.
Don't I pay recapture?
Sure, on that 20.
On the 20,
But
but
now
then
you're
because
writing
I'm
off
buying
60.
on a, so you have to keep buying more expensive planes every
Of
year.
course. But think about how brilliant that is, because that's how they're getting American industry moving. Like what they don't want is you to make a lot of money and do nothing. You get taxed out the butt, and that's by design. What they want is, okay, you've been successful, you've made a lot of money. Now we want you to look at the tax code and figure out where are your deductions. Well, where are deductions for Kevin? Kevin, you're a real estate professional. Go buy a ton of real estate. Here are all the deductions you want.
Why can't someone craft something that people could buy in $1 million increments that could be a 100% tax write-off that have value that you could 1031? Because my thought is this, for people that don't know, you could buy a vehicle. What is it? The Section 179 deduction. So if a vehicle weighs more than 6,000 pounds, in the first year, you could write off bonus depreciation of 100%. So a Tesla Model X is one of those things that you could buy. In the first year, it's $100,000. You write off the full amount off your income. Why isn't someone going and creating a $1 million vehicle, let's just say that's 7,000 pounds, but it's lined with gold or precious metal or something that has intrinsic value? So sure, you're buying this vehicle, but what it's actually comprised of is gold or something
It's an
like
investment or something. Yeah.
Right. Or that car's price is pegged to the US dollar. Just something like that. It doesn't even need to move. Just some vehicle
It's a tank.
that you could say can drive afoot, and you buy that 100% for business use. But that vehicle has a value that you could then retain at any point and get loans against for income. But why hasn't someone created that yet?
Well, I think that's the art industry, because you can buy something
yeah.
for 20 grand, get it appraised for 50, right? I mean, you're writing off your
Yep.
expenses, right? But there are
Art. So I looked into this because I wanted to. So I don't know how much I'm supposed to say here, but I wanted to buy a Picasso, and I looked into it. So I looked into this of spending like $200,000-$300,000 on a piece of art. Yeah. Unfortunately, art has it because in order to depreciate something, it has to degrade over time, and that's the gray area. Apparently, art, if kept in the right condition, will not degrade or will not lose value. So that does not pass the test to be able to be depreciated in the first year for business use, unfortunately. It has to have wear and tear.
unless it's a full
Now-
write-off.
What?
Unless you hung it up in your office and it's like
No. Even if you hang it up in your office, it has to have wear and tear.
for
So
depreciation.
some-
But I'm just wondering,
Yes.
could it just be deemed a business and marketing expense? This is a Picasso in a real estate office. It brings people in. Business expense. It's all expense.
Well, then you get in the point of you could argue whatever you want,
Yeah,
but it's
that's
up to the IRS to decide whether or not
That's true. We lost one.
Oh, Jack, do you want to? So that's the argument there in terms of the IRS.
Yeah, and I think that's the big thing is, and there's also this balance of like fairness too, because you want to pay taxes too in some sense to give back to the society that enabled. But on the flip side, when you're fortunate and you have a really good year or whatever, yeah, I mean, to me, I look at, well, I mean, I'm creating jobs, I'm investing in real estate, I'm improving neighborhoods or whatever. I mean, you could justify it in any way you want, but the real estate tax deductions that exist are absolutely insane. We were just talking about this, the cost segregation, the upfront, especially the Donald Trump tax law in 2017 that went into effect that like doubles some of the things that you can take. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. So that's why this year I'm on my 11th property this year for purchasing.
What's your total amount of properties?
20. We just hit. We're gonna close our 20th.
Gosh, man,
Yeah.
you don't have a management company or anything.
It's Lauren. Lauren does it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But there's surprisingly not that much to do once we renovate them. Because actually, when I sat down over here, I saw an email that was copied to Lauren about a fourplex that we just bought. And this is a property that we did not renovate because we got all the tenants with it. So we had an email like, stove's broken. It doesn't stress me out though, because I look at it and like, no problem. We could get a stove for, $550 and have it installed for $125 and it's done. The other one's gone. I enjoy that. I like those things. Like, no problem, tenant. You're getting a new stainless steel. How about that? People love that.
Do people know who you are, your tenants?
We try not to. We try to prevent that. I mean, if they looked at my website, probably I've got to come up with like a DBA or something like that to avoid that. But we are always the managers. We try to keep a step back.
Have you had a tenant who's come to me and be like, hey, where's my stimulus check, man?
I have had tenants follow me on Instagram, so
Okay,
that's
so
when
they
you know.
know.
That's when you know. Yeah, but really, I think the tenants are, just you give them a good product and they're happy people. I think if you give a tenant a lemon, because there are landlords who do that, they will they'll buy a property the way it is, and they'll put a tenant in. And they'll say, you know what? Let's just treat this like adults. You just take care of everything. And the landlord doesn't want to do anything, and they get frustrated over everything, and they never renovate it. It's like, what do you expect?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's when you really start having problems, which is really one of the reasons going back to this, why I rated Cardone, because he's always talking down, starting small and buying the single family house. So then I got tackled in his office.
You got tackled in his office?
Yeah.
How'd you get into his office?
Well, so the part that you didn't mention in your flower delivery story.
trying to make it nice, trying to make you look good.
Yeah, right. The part you didn't mention in the flower delivery story was we deliver the flowers outside, and I decided to go in their back door and run over to their sales staff and let them know that we had delivered flowers. So I ran to the back as an elf, thanking them for what they do and saying that we delivered them flowers. And then as I'm standing there with the microphone and these people are like, this is like a nice young man delivering us flowers. And then all of a sudden, boom! It's bad. I'll never forget those things.
tackled
I
you? enjoyed
that. Looking back.
enjoyed getting tackled.
Looking back, you can't pay for those memories. I can't pay for the unexpected tackle.
Who tackled you?
know?
Was it a security guard?
Yeah. But he was following Santa around. The whole plan was that I was not Santa. And so he was following Santa around the front where we were passing out the flowers, and that's how I ran in the back.
Did you ever meet Grant Cardone?
I met him once at, what was the event? Driven.
This was
Driven.
before?
At the Starbucks.
Or was this afterwards?
Before.
And did you say hello?
Got a video with them.
Yeah. He shook my hand and said, I get it, man, but if you step on someone's D, don't expect to be able to work with them in the future. And he's right.
Yeah.
He's 100% right.
Would you ever consider buying a cameo from him?
Buying a cameo? Oh, like him pop up in a video?
No.
He's on
'cause
Cameo.
He's on, the app Cameo?
I don't. Oh, is that phone call?
No. It's basically like this platform where
shout out.
celebrities,
I should do that.
you should. Celebrities, like a lot of people, YouTubers, baseball players, every kind of celebrity. Yeah, they basically just say, hey, send me a message and I'll read it and I'll take a video of myself and I'll give it to you.
I signed up for Cameo. I put my info in. Let's see if they Cameo.
Yeah, so
that would be funny.
do you know who Will, the Financial Wolf, is? He's a smaller finance channel. He bought a Cameo from Grant Cardone, and he sent me the video. Yeah, it's just Grant Cardone saying like, "Hey, you got this, Will. Keep working hard or whatever." Yeah. And
Oh, that's funny. That's too
Yeah, how much
funny.
was it, like $500?
no, it's $300.
$300.
That's not
$300
bad at all.
to get a personalized video from Grant Cardone himself.
Yeah, 30, 60-second video.
Yeah.
I've seen them before. It's usually like, hey, man, doing well, keep it up, congratulations.
Jeez, man.
Stuff like that. He could do that for you. Congratulations, man, almost at 1 million
Good
subs.
job on the single families.
Yeah.
I specifically want you to endorse single families.
Oh my
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's what I will say about YouTube is it's been fun. And there are times when you look and it's like it's a grind, but it's a different world, and that's why I always encourage us like go do it. Go start making videos and putting stuff out there, and like your audience tells you if it's good or not.
Yeah.
Like I showed you before I did my finance channel, I had a very brief stint of just doing like family vlog videos. And I did the same stupid stuff, and I crashed VidCon, which Danny Duncan.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Danny Duncan had done that the year before. Danny Duncan had crashed VidCon by pretending to be a security guard. So I snuck into all the backstage events at VidCon and then made a video about it and got banned.
So it sounds like honestly you would rather, or at some point, do prank videos. Just do funny little.
I would
lighthearted prank
love that. That would be just the.
Why
full
don't you ever
dream.
just try one out of context on the Meat Gavin channel?
Try another prank, you know. I think with the last ones I got sued for, I don't know.
You could do, yeah. I'm not gonna say it. but
Don't
you
give
could
me
do a lot of-
ideas.
you could do a lot of pranks.
It would just at this point I'd have to like put a mustache on and or let's just like shave just have a mustache, I guess, and just do a different channel. Really, you know.
That would be funny to start a different channel.
Yeah.
Tell nobody and just see what happens to it.
It's that would be funny. Just giving away stuff. But you know, the funny thing, the crazy thing is a lot of people are doing that now.
Yeah.
You know, the giveaways
But that's
and
the
the
new meta.
challenges.
There's
It
a
is.
reason why people are doing
Yeah,
it.
but it's not as effective. Every single prank goes through that phase.
Yeah.
Remember a while it used to be the pickup, the gold digger pranks.
Oh.
And then it
Yeah, but
became
they were
the-
effective in their time.
back then. But not anymore.
No,
or
but
like
the giveaway is.
the Lambo pranks, picking up picking up Uber riders in cart. Those don't work no more. Mr. Beast started the new style of the big giveaways and the challenges. Guaranteed, 2 years from now, it's going to be so saturated. She's probably going to have to pivot to something else.
Yeah. Well, he kind of is in a way. Like he's just doing huge like displays of just like the fireworks or something
Yes.
like that. Like he's doing just
Right.
big projects.
But I have a feeling he's going to pivot more towards those big projects or just crazy stuff that no one else has the money to do.
Something I've noticed that he's doing too is he's now incorporating multiple challenges within one video. So he hooks you in with one challenge. Before he gets to the end of that challenge, he sets the hook for the next challenge. Before you get to the end of that one, he sets the hook for the next challenge. And so you're almost watching the video not to get to the end result of one challenge. You're watching the whole video to get to the end of 4 or 5 challenges.
Yeah, like the firework
Brilliant.
one is a perfect example of starting off with like, okay, so we got a $500 firework, a $100 firework, $1,000, and then all the way up to this like crazy finale.
600,000.
Right, it works though. Yeah. Because if the whole video is just we're gonna light off this crazy firework as a vlog, and in the last 30 seconds, if it people would just scroll past.
Yes.
Last 30 seconds. He's smart.
It's
He never
very
does
smart. It's very smart. And you had mentioned like what happened to the Kevin about like jumping out of the bushes and all that kind of stuff. Those videos took a lot of time and effort. Like you said, I was posting, once or twice a week, and too niche maybe. Just not. There's like no traction in this craziness. Whereas the news perspective, I really enjoy, and they're easy to do.
Told you.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. Wow.
What you got to do next, you heard it here first, is you're going to start a network. You're going to get a
network.
few other people. You're going to get someone
a news
else.
network? I will not.
You're going to you're going to get
No.
somebody else. Dude, there's a lot in that. You're going to get somebody else to cover other topics that you yourself cannot cover.
Like makeup.
Whatever.
Hey, there's a huge market for that.
There's a huge market
Yeah.
for that.
Find somebody else, I think, who's as good as you are, but just needs a little direction.
Really?
That's all you got to do, and get them to cover some other topic that you would not cover.
Yeah.
And you could slowly start your own network of news.
The problem is, and this maybe I'm just jaded, and I want to hear what you say about this. One of the things that I've distanced myself from that I love is not, no offense, Jack, not having employees. Like seriously, not
No,
like,
that's fair.
yeah, like
I've been trying to distance myself from that too.
you're trying to distance yourself. So yeah, after Meet and Done, when there was a point where I had 15 employees, I realized I never wanted that obligation again. Like, look, if you're a painter and you're looking for work, you want to come work, you're a drywaller, like, hey, you got work today? Like, hey, I got some projects for you, whatever. Like, you want to do the 1099 gig? Sure. But do I want to go back to having to meet payroll every week? That stress is and I'll worry that it would almost be like that. Or why wouldn't they just go out on their own? Why need me after a while? Yeah. Speaking of Kevin O'Leary, I don't think he thinks I diversify enough.
No, you do not.
What I did not understand, why would he tell you to pay down your real estate debt?
I think he's coming from the perspective of someone who has so much money that it doesn't matter. Because I've started to realize too, as you earn more and more and more, the difference you can make in leveraging your money becomes less and less valuable. Like to go and borrow money at 3% to make 5% when you're making so much money elsewhere, it becomes less valuable. So for me, it was really good in the beginning when I was trying to like save every dollar. It's like, oh, if I can get out that extra $10 a month by doing this over here, it's worth it to me in that growth phase. But then when you get so much money, I think it's more about maintaining and less about growing.
Sure. Yeah. The payoff phase. Yeah.
Like if you can guarantee to me, I'm going to grow at 5% a year every single year, I would take it. If that was like a guarantee, no questions asked next 20 years versus the possibility of earning 8%, but you also have the chance at making 2. I'd pick probably the guaranteed 5.
Sure. Yeah.
Or you know what, a better analogy would be making 3% or 10%. Or 5% guaranteed. I think I would probably take the 5% guarantee, just knowing that I have enough. Just let's grow it.
Sell
Let's not
everything
lose.
and invest into AT&T. You can get
AT&T,
4% dividend.
Yeah,
now.
well, the stock slowly continues to go down.
Yeah, that's
I
true,
bought that
yeah.
a while ago, and it stayed exact. It's gone down like
It's
$1
been
or something.
flat.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
just been sitting at 29 to
Yep.
30, 29 to
AT&T's
30.
going down a little bit. I got some short strangles on there. And
Oh
it's
my gosh.
lowering
the- I saw you guys did an options video and
that didn't go well.
Yeah, oh no.
Oh, it went amazingly. It was a 2 out of 10. And also, why don't you sell covered calls on your Tesla?
Yeah, because I don't want to miss the run up.
But you could still be generating crazy passive income, even if you choose strike prices way above right now.
No.
Why don't you choose strike prices in like a month at $600? Like something
Can we
that's
do a
not going
quick
to happen.
calculation of how much you could be making off covered calls?
Sure. Yeah, of course. No, I no. I mean, I'll occasionally do some call. I'll buy calls, which I know you only like writing.
Yeah.
I saw that video. One of the things I'll tell you, one of the big reason that I love to just hold the stocks is because when I sit on tons of unrealized gains, I'm not paying taxes on them.
Okay, but that was also, in Kevin O'Leary's mind, a misstep. Because he says,
That was
Yeah.
dumb. That was dumb in my opinion.
think so?
I will
But also-
bluntly say that was Kevin O'Leary says that that's a good thing you're paying taxes. No.
No, it's not a good
I
thing you're paying
completely-
taxes, but he says it was a mistake because this
Yeah,
did
yeah,
occur.
it's like- yeah.
You know, when you were up to $500, which
Yeah.
is a pretty arguably like a pretty ridiculous price for Tesla stock, right? Like after post split, like if you were to sell and realize the gains,
Yeah.
it did have a correction.
Yeah.
You know, and you could have accepted the tax payment instead of the
but see,
correction.
here's the problem that happens. Once you unlock the psychology of selling a stock, you sell a stock like Graham did at 925. And then now you're out of Tesla or less in Tesla. And then you've sold. Now your psychology says, well, I sold. Why would I buy in higher? Now you stop buying in at 1100 and 1200. I never sold. Instead, I just kept buying at 11, 1200.
I think his is more about diversifying, about cutting it off at 5,
Yeah.
moving to another stock,
and then rebalancing
But
over
I
that.
see what you're saying though, because I sold at 9 something, and I thought it was a genius when it went down to like 7 or 6.
Yeah.
And I was intending to buy back in, but I didn't. I bought back in higher than where I sold it.
Sure. Yeah, no, it's one of the
So-
things is looking back is always easy, right? With stocks certainly, but one of the things that I love is not having to worry about taxes. And if I can just avoid taxation, that's fine. If I'm unbalanced, I don't care. I don't need the money. I like the what I've chosen to invest in, and I'm willing to invest in that for the next 10. Yeah,
and that's why you buy options as well, because selling options.
I'll buy calls.
I wanted to say this because there were a few comments and they said that selling options is it's bad relative to taxes, which is totally true. Like
Sure.
I totally acknowledge that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
also you could be selling covered calls on Tesla, right? And if you were
Yeah.
selling $500 strike price,
yeah.
November 6th, so it's like
Yeah.
40-day theta, or I don't know how long that is. But
Sure.
Yeah, about 30 days. That's 21.
Election's 40 days away, so yeah,
Move
like
a little bit
43
over
days.
here, Kevin.
Sure.
No, you.
Me? Oh, physically me.
Yeah, physically you right.
Oh, you
How
want to
many-
get closer?
How many shares do you have?
Okay.
Probably 10,000. No, maybe more. Oh, let's just go with 10,000.
$213,000. is
What, a month or a year?
Annual.
In 1 month.
In a month.
That's a month? You can make $200,000 a month?
So because if you look, here I'll show you. So this is $500. So also you'd be able to sell Tesla at $500 per share, which is $100 more in it. So it's like a 20% increase in 1 month. Also, one could argue that this is a pretty high price for Tesla because this is where it did its past dip.
Yeah.
It's $21.33 per share, and you said you had 10,000 shares, right? 21.33 times 10,000. So you get to you do this, it doesn't hit it. You get $213,000 profit in 1
Yeah.
month. Or what you could do is if it goes above it, it would have to go up above that share price, $500, by $21.33.
Yeah, so if we're at
per unit.
525, let's say again, and by November, then I lose whatever gains are above that.
Exactly,
But
yeah.
I've also now been forced to sell my stock.
Yeah.
And now I've also been forced to sell unrealized gains on $2.5 million or something like that.
That's true.
So now I'm paying a $1.25 million tax bill that I wasn't ordinarily paying.
It's true.
Yeah, but what do you think the
also
chances are that Tesla's gonna hit $525?
$200,000 in 1 month. I mean, that's
For probably an unlikely chance that Tesla's
It's-
going to go
but
from
the problem with-
390 to 5.
Yeah, but look, go
That's
back
also
to
before the
relative
election,
Yeah,
mind
but be relative to what the stock price was. I mean, what's it at now? 400 times 5, it's $2,000 a share. We were just buying Tesla at 1,000 2 months ago. So especially with a volatile stock like Tesla, it's almost one that I almost certainly don't want to do the options on. Now, if you were saying, Kevin, you got all this money in AT&T stock, sell the $50 calls. It's never going to 50.
yeah, but no
You
one's
see what I'm saying?
paying.
No, but exactly.
How much could you
Yeah.
make off AT&T?
Let's try that.
$50 call?
Yeah, if I
Look
had
at that.
all my money
No
in
one's
AT&T.
no one's selling. There's
Let's
no
see.
way anyone's.
Let's look. What's the
buying
highest?
those
What's the
options.
highest
Sure.
you could?
Sure. Because nobody expects that as a potential. And that's
You
where the
can
market
write the
is.
option. But
Sure.
It's unlikely that.
It'll execute. Yeah.
Watch. You go to November 6th.
Yeah.
Sell a call. The highest.
Well, you're on buy.
Oh, sell. I mean, it's the same, right?
Yeah.
$5.
So
I
I
get
mean,
a penny.
realistically, you could. This would be
12 cents on
12 cents
$31.
per share, yeah.
Okay. So do that. So do $5 million
how
on
much you have in
AT&T in Tesla. So do 5 mil. But then
divided by. It was like how much per share is $31?
it's $31. Yeah.
Or no, because it's how many shares you would be able to buy at current price. So that'd be like $29, right?
Sure. Okay.
So divided by 29.
Oh, as in how many shares I would
Right.
have. Okay.
Yeah. So you'd have that many.
172,000.
So divide by 100 because this is how many contracts you'd be able to buy. So 1,000. So you multiply that times
6 cents or what was it?
Oh, I didn't need to divide by 100. I can times by 100 because you just be able to use the
Because it's multiplying by 100 anyway here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
exact the price.
so like 30. So multiply that times
12 cents.
times 0.12.
20 grand.
20 grand every
Yeah, if it
every
went-
month
Right.
for AT&T to hit
31.
31.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
with $5 million.
Right. Yeah.
So
I mean,
it
the
makes
thing-
sense.
The thing about what it
I
is
won't
is
do it.
implied volatility, right?
Sure,
So
yeah.
since Tesla has such a higher IV,
Oh, yeah.
which basically means how likely it will be to
Hit that
jump or
price.
to go down.
Sure.
Exactly. So the higher IV rank there is, the higher the premiums are. So
Yeah.
something like Tesla has a really, really high IV rank.
Oh, yeah.
Some things that can affect IV would be like earnings reports or
Sure.
just like obviously fad news or
Yeah, blowing numbers out of the way. Yeah,
Yeah.
out of the water. Yeah, I mean that's. But the big thing for me, and I really disagree with Kevin O'Leary on that. I think the taxes thing is a terrible mistake. I mean, why? Why would I diversify away from Tesla just to pay the taxes? There's 50% diversification right there.
But
Is
if you're
giving
able
it to the government.
to utilize so many write-offs, right? If you were to
I mean, there's a
realize those
limit,
$1 million
right? I can only buy so many properties.
Right. But
Yeah.
what if you were at your max and then
Yeah.
a new opportunity came up with a new property
Mm.
and you could sell those stocks, put that covered call there, and
Yeah.
you were already maxed out. Would it make sense to you then? Or was there never a
look,
world
so
that you
look,
would-
if there was a see the other thing is then I'm gonna miss the next run up, and that's the big thing.
I think the biggest thing for me that you mentioned is psychology of it. Because there was a point in my portfolio where I was up a lot on Boeing. I think I bought in at like 128 and went to 230, and I was up a lot. And I was thinking, oh, should I sell? But then the taxes. And I didn't, and now it's down to like 150 something again. I mean, obviously hindsight is 2020, but it would have made sense in that situation to pay the taxes, even at 50%, and just diversify away. But everything is down since then, so who knows? But
the other thing there is one of the things that I learned by making the mistake was having a strategy for the stock. So, for example, I never want to hold Delta, Carnival, Cheesecake, Dave & Buster's. My intention is never to hold those companies for 10, 20 years, right? I don't care about those companies outside this pandemic, right? So for those companies, maybe that's Boeing for you. Maybe that would have made sense to sell Boeing. Something like Tesla, Apple, Amazon, Etsy, Redfin. I have no horizon where I say I'm ready to sell it. And so I'm willing to just carry those taxes. I think that's one place we differ is I'm a big fan of how much can I put into like a retirement account but get a tax deduction for as opposed to the Roth, because I'm trying to delay the tax bill, which, yeah, in the future you got to pay, but the future is uncertain. I want to be able to create as much wealth as I can now, because that's going to, in my own
Well, it'll
vision,
also compound.
more. Well, yeah, but get
Yeah, but then you pay tax.
You get compounded tax too.
I like
yeah.
knowing that what I have right now is mine.
Right.
That's what I like.
And-
I like
and
the
I
peace of mind.
get
Just
that.
Pay tax on it. I'm good to go.
But
Next.
in real estate, you might never have to pay taxes on it.
Right.
That's the flip side. So if I can move money, and like I take margin, that's why I got into the margin. Is I take the margin, I buy real estate, I never have to buy real estate or margin. I never have to pay taxes on the margin.
But why are you buying so many? Why don't you buy two big ones instead of a whole bunch of little tiny ones?
Yeah. There's a lot of competition for big units. It's insane. There's no way you can get a deal on big units. You have to overpay to get big units, and then you hold the units expecting them to go up in value. That's it. Yeah. The cash flow covers the expenses. Maybe you got a little bit of a 3 or 4% yield. You're buying in Texas or Florida or whatever. Maybe you got 5% or something like that. The rest over that, it's usually just magic juju where they delay the fees until later. Like this is something Cardone Capital does. They go, oh, we promise you 6%. They write the 6% checks. But then I believe, at least their prospectus allows them to do this, they can actually waive their annual 1% management fee until they sell the property. So all of a sudden you get all of those, oh, by the way, we didn't bill you for the last 10 years. And yeah. So your return effectively is substantially lower than the 6% that's advertised, especially with like the 35% waterfall he does. But all that complicated stuff aside, I love buying these little deals because you saw the hoarder house. You got the coffee machine. You still
It's a
have it?
lot of work. It's right there.
Seriously.
I use it every few days.
You got it, yeah. And people thought that was staged. That was a real find, and she had a lot of good stuff.
I still believe there's a 1% chance you planted that there for
Oh,
me. That's too perfect. I use it every single day.
Well, you still think that I bought Instagram followers?
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
Because
but you
there's
said
one
there was
day-
a 20% chance that I bought them.
Yes.
That was your belief.
Yes.
Yeah.
What was the jump?
Kevin went from like, what were you at back then? 1,000
1,500?
subscribers, 1,500.
1,500,
Went
yeah.
to like 11,000 within like 2 days, 3 days.
Yeah.
And they're all like bot followers.
All
Like
bots.
You could
Yeah.
look at them.
Yeah, oh,
and
yeah.
they're just like from different countries.
Oh no, it was
and-
unsubs like crazy
Oh
too.
yeah, exactly.
But we suspected that one of the people I exposed did
Yes.
that, so they could try to make an exposed video on
yes.
me.
So Kevin made an exposed video on someone else.
Long history, man.
Long
We've been
history, another
talking
one.
for a long time. He says I don't give him good ideas. We share good ideas, okay?
Yeah.
The Tesla video, the come on, the $78 Tesla, dude. Come
about
on,
that?
man. I convinced you to buy a Tesla.
No, it was Jeremy.
Yeah, right.
It was Jeremy. Financial education.
We'll
with
have to
his
duke
video.
that out.
Yeah, we'll duke that out. But anyway, so Kevin did an exposed video, and we think that person bought followers, 10,000 to Kevin. So this person could then make an exposed video on Kevin saying, look, he bought these followers. Like, look at this. He went from this to this
Yeah.
overnight. Look at all the unsubs.
Yeah.
This person's talking bad about me. Well, look at what he just did.
Sure.
Meanwhile, because anyone could buy fake followers
For
anybody.
anybody. Yeah. Wait, I don't even know what we were talking about before the Instagram follower thing.
I forget.
But yeah, it kind of goes back to the beginning of just the positive mindset. I think we were talking about Tesla call options. Yeah, I ain't doing it in taxes. Kevin O'Leary, that's where we were.
Yes.
I disagree with the tax argument completely. I disagree with his mortgage advice. I think it's a terrible way for people to start. His what did he do with the protein versus
Protein and pasta.
carbs, pasta? Yeah. That's an old school mentality in the 80s.
You know
with
what?
people- yeah.
I think it's just because you see these people who went through the 80s real estate boom.
Yes.
It seems like everybody who went through that cycle
Anti-debt.
is anti-debt.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you have to think too, from their perspective, like the same people, like our grandparents or whoever went through the Great Depression. They're just like, we're going to hoard what we have right now because you never know. We're going to keep our cash. We don't trust banks. I think if you go through something like that, you might have a different outlook on things.
100%.
So
And I
that's
think
what I think it
financing
is.
was so different then too. I
Yeah.
mean, even just in the last recession, people were like, oh, we're going to have another 07. The financing now is so much better than it used to be.
True.
There are no neg-am loans. It's hard to qualify. You've got prime borrowers buying instead of subprime
But the way I
borrowers.
see it is that neither is wrong. Like, I can't argue.
no, you
with
can't have an argument on that.
Kevin because it's like, well, he has not like 30 years experience on me.
Yeah.
And he's way more success. He's seen way more. So who am I to argue my point? Great. The market.
I think that's wrong.
Yeah,
That's
the
true.
10-year
It's true.
bull market, Kevin. You don't know what you're talking about. Robin Hood. Like, come on, it's stupid. Like, he has merit for what he
think
says.
his advice for you is most effective for himself, and I think he would be able to manage his current assets way better than you could, and you can manage your current assets way better than he could.
That's well
I think
said.
it's all
Probably.
just
Yeah.
relative.
That's a good one. Yeah.
One of the things that I have noticed is that people will. Do you want to?
yeah,
That
that-
just happened.
The movie recorded exceeded the. Ran out of space.
Yeah, that's just finishing that thought on the Kevin O'Leary. I think where he comes from is maybe seeing people have built wealth and then lose it all and then have to start over, because he said, I think there was a line he said, the last thing you want to do is have to start over in your 40s. He's not wrong about that. There is an aspect of you want to put aside enough of your wealth to where you've protected the base, so to speak, so you never have to start over.
You know what I would say though? It would make, I don't want to jinx anything, but if something were to happen to everything and the real estate market like drops and the stock market drops and all income dries up and tenants stop paying their rent and you can't sell anything, that would have a traumatic impact. Even if you own 50% of everything outright.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just going through that. Then after, if I went through something like I'm knocking on wood here, like if something like that happens, I would never want debt ever again.
Yeah,
so I think
that's
that's why Dave Ramsey was like so anti-debt, because he went through something. I think those events could be so traumatic.
But that was short-term debt. That was like a 3 or 6 month loan.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that would certainly make you not want to do that.
Yeah, I think
again.
those are 30-day interval loans, or like 30 to 60-day loans.
Hard money
Yeah,
kind of
hard
stuff.
money
Yeah.
loans. It could be called at any time that he was trying to renegotiate every 30, 60 days.
Yeah.
It's really
very
risky.
Very risky.
But things can happen.
Well,
Yeah.
and see, look at that's what's so amazing about America is now you buy a place with a 30-year fixed rate mortgage. What happens to the property when the market value falls? You drop the rent a couple $100. That's it. The bank doesn't call you and go, yo, margin call, yo, property call. Like, you got to sell your bank right now because you're upside down. They don't care.
Yeah.
They just care about getting their payment. And then not even that anymore, because tenant stops paying rent or you got difficulties. We got forbearance for you. We got loan mods for you. We got options for you. This country does not want you to fail. They almost make it hard to fail in some cases.
It would have to be the perfect storm, because I thought about, like, for me, like, what would happen. I think it would have to be a cataclysmic earthquake
Yes. That would be
in
bad.
California that would wipe out all of my rental properties.
Everything.
So then that wouldn't, like, from that, so that all dries up, let's say. But then insurance comes in, because I have earthquake
You have
insurance,
earthquake. I don't.
everything. But then no one would want to live here for a long time, like the San Francisco fires.
Yeah.
It was like 20 years before people started really rebuilding and moving back in the area. So there goes your investment. I mean, there's everything down 50% that you've accumulated.
Wow.
And then I'm thinking, if that happens in conjunction with, let's say, something happening with YouTube or something happening in the economy, if those happen at the same time, then it's like, then what?
And it could
So,
happen. It's the things like
It's
that.
good.
certainly
It's
happen, yeah.
unlikely, but even with the proper insurances, I mean, it's just you never know.
I can't believe you pay for earthquake insurance. It's so expensive because the deductible is like 10 to 15%. On this house, you would have
Yeah.
to sustain $200,000 in damages for your insurance to begin covering you. And what are you paying? $300 a month for this?
No,
car?
no. No, that $200,000. No, the land values. This home is probably only worth. It's I would say about $120 a square foot for
Pull
this
up
house.
a policy, man. Nobody building in LA for $120 a foot. You can't even remodel for that.
I don't know what the policy says offhand.
$300
but
to
I'm just-
$400 a foot is your new construction on a rebuild. At
So what is this?
least.
2,200 square feet, so $1 million to build.
Yeah, but
about
they're,
$1 million.
they're putting
yeah.
you on value. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, they'll take off some land value, but I would not be shocked if you have to cut a 6-figure check before you have your earthquake insurance kick in. Before you do that, bolt your foundation for $6,000.
It is, yeah.
You know,
I know,
and then
same.
what are your odds of a 9 here? Like 0. I think California, like LA, Ventura,
Mm-hmm.
your odds of anything over 7.5 or 0.
Mm-hmm.
We have like a 1% chance of a 7.5, and 5 to 15% of a 7. And a lot of the newer homes can stand those. Now, you own some older properties than I do. I actually don't own any properties older than about 1958. The 1920s properties, which you've got, those I might be more tempted on, or just consider lateraling up to some newer stuff.
Yeah, my thought is it's sort of. I mean, I don't want to jinx anything. I'd rather
No.
not say it.
Okay.
rather not
Deal.
say it,
Deal.
yeah.
Something to think about.
Okay, something to think about.
Look at your policy because
Okay.
it's probably 10 to 15%. If it's 15%, and then look at what it is, because they'll tell you as to what the value is. And what are you paying? $300 a month for this thing?
No, not that much. I don't know. It's annually. Like this, I think is like $2,300 a year.
Okay, so a
for
couple
this
$100 a
one.
month.
Yeah.
Look it up.
Yeah,
Take
sure.
a look at that. Usually, earthquake insurance is like, oh, you're almost better off paying some retrofit fees.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. And I think that's where I get so excited, and I could talk for hours just about real estate investing, just my perspectives. And that doesn't mean my perspectives are
Yeah.
right. We differ on things. But I did like the remodel that you did on
Thanks.
your duplex.
Thank you.
That was really
You were
nice.
supposed to move in so we could do an I'm evicting you as a tenant. I'm evicting me, Kevin.
That's true.
Yeah.
And then the pandemic
And
struck.
everything happened.
What crap?
Mm-hmm.
This needs to end. I'm tired of the pandemic.
I know. We should wrap this up because we're past 2 hours.
Oh yeah, wow.
We have a question.
Cool.
Graham,
Yeah.
you know what to do.
Yeah. So the question we ask everybody:
Oh,
would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
this is a Stephen Gardner question.
Or Graham.
This is from Stephen Gardner's channel.
How is it?
He asked the same question.
Did he?
He
got it
asked
from-
the same
He
question.
took it from
He
us.
got it
When
from
did
us.
When did he say it?
a month ago.
Yeah, we've been doing
We've
this
been
for
doing
months.
this
Shut up.
since like almost the beginning of the podcast.
Yep.
Yep. We asked our
16
second
weeks
guest.
now, yeah.
We asked Christine.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, you asked me on the first podcast.
Oh, I did?
Yeah.
There we go. Stephen Gardner, if you're listening, come on.
I'm on the
Come
podcast.
on, Jan.
It's a great guy.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't listening after I thought about that, so you have to ask again.
One
Sorry.
duck-sized horse.
A duck-sized horse. Okay. Yes.
Wait, duck-sized. Wait, no,
No,
sorry.
no, one horse-sized duck or so
Horse-sized duck,
100
okay.
little horses
Yes.
or one big duck.
I'd rather go with fight the big. Little overwhelms. It's like it's
No one says that. Everyone would rather the whole bunch of little ones.
really
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, because
no.
a horse-sized duck. That's
Yeah.
a big duck, and the beak.
The beak would get you.
powerful.
Yeah.
It's
And
gonna be
just the
slow.
webbed feet.
It's gonna be slow.
Ducks are not slow.
It
Yeah.
can fly too.
You can just flap its wings. No, I don't know. It's just like one of those fears where you're like, you go to sleep at night and you just have these visions of like spiders coming up and taking over your body and killing you. You know, like I don't know, like little no. Horse-sized ducks. I mean, I get it, but you get a bunch of little stuff nibbling at you. That's a problem too.
What would you have any strategy to it?
Strategy. Wow. I think if you got to get like, you just go behind like a table and like you're on that side. You just kind of keep running. That's, I have no idea. Jeez. When I was a police explorer, the strategy was always if somebody pulls a gun as a police explorer, you have to zigzag run away. I don't think that would work for a horse-sized duck. To zigzag away. Maybe you just beeline it in GTFO.
Yeah.
Speaking of GTFOing, I think it's time to go.
Yeah. Cool. So with that said, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Kevin will link to all of your information down below in the description. So you could gain a whole bunch of subscribers from this man. An extra 10,000 Instagram followers on this.
Hey.
Let's see, what else? Subscribe, Instagram's down below. Everything's down below. This episode is long enough, guys. If you actually made it to the very end, comment down below and just say you made it to the very end. Jack will be there answering every comment that has made it to the very end. Just
will.
say, okay, so say made it to the very end, and then like what little thing do we have them say? Just only people who made it to this point will have to know this.
Shave.
Shave. Sure. Say made it to the end. Shave.
Made it to the end.
Semicolon.
Yes. Yes, made it to the end. Semicolon shave. Done.
Got it.
Cool.
So with that said, you guys.
So with that said, you guys.
So with that said, you guys, thank you so much for coming to the iced coffee, not coffee hour, and thank you for watching and subscribing. We've got $20 coasters here, and it was a blast. It's too hot in here. Next time we'll do it in mine.
Cool. All right, one thing, Kevin, really quick. Move this thumbnail.
Oh yeah.
We're just gonna do it.
Takes.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, and I got destroyed.
Oh man.
I also did snowboarding for 7 years. Then I went on skis one time, and I never touched my snowboard again.
Did you fall?
No, it's just you're always on your butt in the snow.
Oh, yeah.
You snowboard?
Yeah.
You're always in the
And
snow.
I've skied.
Yeah, but you're always in the snow.
Ah, crap. Can you just flip that around?
Yeah, that's like
Just a little, yeah.
I don't have to sit my butt in the snow when
we
I'm
go.
skiing. I love
That's
it.
true.
It's so it's just
Anyway.
chill.
Okay.
But I
Anyway.
would snowboard with you.
All right, so
Well,
taxes.
let's
So,
do it.
Yeah.
anyway.
Ready?
Okay.
There we go.
I hope you guys have questions.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Oh, okay, now I'm nervous. All right. You ready?
Go. Nervous.
Ready. Okay, here we go.
Go.
Welcome back to the night. Oh, sorry. I saw that. I saw that record.
All right, go.
Okay.